why do we always crave things that are bad for us? Even with all of the really good for us options out there, why do we crave that which is bad for us? Well, there's a lot of reasons, actually. It seems so counterintuitive. Why wouldn't we want that which is good for us? Well, when we are in alignment, we do. I remember my yoga teacher back in America used to say, people every once in a while would ask about overcoming things like smoking cigarettes, for example. And he always used to say, don't worry. Don't push yourself to quit, just do more yoga. Because the more yoga you do, you're going to get to a point where automatically you just can't stand the idea of a cigarette. That it's going to become so incongruous with who you are that automatically you'll quit. When we are really living in full alignment, we do actually want what's best for us. You may have noticed when you're meditating well, you're doing your yoga, you're living in alignment with your spiritual practices, with how you're serving in the world, you're much less likely to find yourself, scarfing down entire pints of ice cream or whole bags of chocolate chip cookies or 6 packs of beer or things like that. We tend to find ourselves doing things like that when we're out of alignment. We're depressed, we're jealous, we're bored, we're angry, we're living in a way that isn't in alignment. We've been staying awake too late at night, therefore sleeping in the morning, skipping our meditation, skipping our yoga. So if you bring yourself into alignment, if instead of beating yourself up about the ice cream or the cookies and giving yourself yet another thing to feel miserable about, instead of that, just recommit yourself to the practices that bring you in alignment. So that's one of the major reasons, is when we are not living in alignment with who we are and what's good for us on the deepest level, we're going to not crave that which is good for us on the outer level. When you are in great alignment, those are the times that you want those veggies, like you're craving the veggies. You're craving salad, you're craving fresh fruit, you're craving things that are healthy because you're living a healthy life. You're living a life that isn't healthy is when you're craving the junk. But another reason is really very simple, which is, I think of it as the insidious world of advertising. And it's this massive industry, billions of dollars, that is really focused on only one thing, which is getting us to buy their product. Now, if I'm the producer of organic salad leaves, I'm going to spend advertising money on trying to get you to buy organic salad leaves. But the organic salad leaf growers tend not to have the budgets that the makers of Big Macs have, for example. And so what you're going to get is a lot of advertising that associates, and this is really the key, it's not going to advertise and say, eat this thing, you'll feel sick. It's not going to say, eat this and I promise you're not going to want to get out of bed tomorrow morning. It's not going to advertise it like that. It's going to be an advertisement of a bunch of friends and they're out together and they're loving each other's company. They're having a wonderful time. And oh yeah, those are Big Macs on the table. Or it's a happy family. A husband, a wife, some good-looking kids, and everybody's loving each other. They're all getting along. And they're sitting down for Big Macs. Now, what ends up happening is that subconsciously in our minds, when we're feeling lonely, or we're feeling disconnected, we're feeling ungrounded, that unconscious association of, oh, Big Macs are the things that, bring friends together and they bring families together. And then suddenly you find yourself craving something that has nothing to do with actual food. I mean, you couldn't actually consider that really food anyway, but it doesn't actually have anything to do with what you're feeding your body. And it has everything to do with actually what you're looking for in your life. And this is how everything is sold. Shoes, handbags, mobile phones, food items, cars, whatever we're trying to sell, we sell them through selling happiness. You take car commercials. These are some of my favorite examples. So car commercials tend to be one of two types. Either they're selling you freedom. So it's the convertible and you're driving off into the sunset, not a care in the world. Your hair is blowing in the wind. Beautiful, vast vista. Now, we're not selling a car. We're selling freedom. And people who are feeling stuck, trapped in their lives, unhappy, see this. It's like, yeah, I want to drive off into the sunset with my hair flowing in the wind. And they identify that with the car. Or we sell them as more of like your family vehicles. And so again, it's the happy couple and the happy kids in the back seat. And you think, my God, my kids try to kill each other in the back seat. My husband and I scream at each other in the front seat. And subconsciously, the mind goes, we need that car. Now, your logical mind knows that changing the brand of your car is not going to make your kids get along, or you and your spouse get along. But subconsciously, that's what happens. So the same thing is true with food, with alcohol, with all of these things that are not good for us. So don't worry about it. Don't feel badly about it. But just if you do find yourself in the midst of cravings for things that you know aren't good for you, ask yourself, how have I gotten out of alignment? Why is it the things that I know aren't good are things that are calling to me? Where have I gotten out of alignment? And do what you can do to get back into alignment. Get back into your meditation, get back into your yoga, get back into your service, reconnect with loved ones, reconnect with your values, read things that inspire you, watch things that inspire you. And if you find that it's just, something in your consciousness calling at you, again, don't worry about it. And also don't overanalyze it, because it really could simply be nothing more than a billboard you saw on your way home that happened to hit you at a time when you were feeling frustrated or stuck or upset, and it grabbed you at a time when you were vulnerable. And so now you're craving for that thing. But always ask yourself, what do I really want in this moment? What do I think I'm going to get through this ice cream, through the Big Mac, through the pizza, through the six-pack, through whatever it is that I'm craving. Actually, what am I looking for? Certainly not a stomach ache, certainly not a hangover. What am I really looking for that I've misidentified as coming from that thing? And then, of course, the last piece being that, sometimes you're just in the mood for a piece of pizza or a bowl of hopefully vegan ice cream. And again, don't overanalyze it. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. If that's really all it is, for whatever reason, have a bowl of the ice cream, have a piece of pizza. There's nothing wrong with it or you. As long as that's all it was. It was just a one-time quick thing. It came, have it. It's okay. Try to avoid the six-pack and the Big Mac. But if it's just, if it's just some pizza, some chocolate, whatever it may be, don't be too hard on yourself. It may just be a simple, unconscious association when you were young. Mom gave you this, dad gave you that. Maybe it's the only way you know how to self-nourish. A lot of us, tragically, were actually raised unconsciously to believe that, guess what? Food is love. It's how a lot of us were parented in different ways. And so a lot of us associate it with that. So many parents all over the world, in doing their best, in loving their family, what do? They feed them. Oh, I love you so much, I've baked you cupcakes. I love you so much, here's some gulab jamuns. I love you so much, oh, you have to have just one more because I made it for you and I love you. And so we grow up associating a really overfull, stuffed stomach with knowing that we're loved. And that's a hard pattern to break as we get older. See whether there's a way that you can find the real love you're looking for, the real nourishing, nurturing that you're looking for, rather than just the stuffed stomach. But through it all, don't feel badly. Don't judge yourself. There's so much that we're already feeling like we don't do quite right. And food becomes one of them. So go lightly on yourself. Go easily on yourself. Do that which is healthy for you. But what's most important, honestly, and I'm a big payer of attention to food and to what's healthy and to research on what's healthy. And what all of the research shows is that actually more important than what goes in your body is how you feel about it. As big of a fan of green shakes as I am, the truth of the actual research is that in terms of the long-term health benefits on your body, you are much worse off drinking a green shake while you're angry than you are eating a piece of pizza while you're happy. And so if depriving yourself in some way is making you feel angry and deprived and miserable, you're not actually benefiting yourself, even on a physical level. What's important is that our mind is peaceful and joyful. And ideally, yes, we find joy feeding ourselves things that are healthy for us. But if that's making you angry, you're much better off eating something that's actually going to make you feel happy about it. because that happiness is doing a lot more for your body than all of the green shakes ever would. So get in alignment, and then you'll find that what's good for you is what makes you happy. But at other times, it's okay. We all have different ways of nourishing and nurturing ourselves. And so just make sure that you are taking care of not just your waistline, but your heart.